Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about the biggest loser in Bleach. And I know what you're thinking, y'all. I know what you're thinking. Mr. Speedster, who's the biggest loser in Bleach? Well, I have that answer. It's none other than Mr. Shuhei Hisagi, also known as the co-lieutenant of the 9th Division. So, and when I say loser, I mean the guy with no screen time and the guy who's awfully disrespected. And in my opinion, I love Shuhei. He's one of my favorite lieutenants. Literally, a few years ago, field day, I literally put the same tattoo, and the 69 on my face for field day, which was great, by the way. But to me, Shuhei's one of my favorite characters in my opinion. I love his Zanpakuto, stuff like that. But today I'm gonna be explaining him. This is my first Bleach character profile, and I'm probably gonna do a lot more of these. So he's a lieutenant of the 13 lieutenants, specifically a co-lieutenant. But let's just get into him right now. So, alright. Shuhei Hisagi, 9th Division co-captain, well, co-lieutenant. The biggest loser in all of Bleach history. But he served under the late Captain Kaname Tozen until the latter betrayed the Soul Society, and he now serves under Captain Kensai Maguruma. However, he angrily shares his co-position with Mashiru Kuna, who can't even stand. But so basically, Shuhei's background, his whole story. Shuhei was born on the day of August 14th, and his parents are never seen or shown. But approximately 100 years before the current storyline of the series, a young Shuhei Hisagi and several of his classmates fell prey to a hollow attack in the Rukongai district. Luckily, it wasn't long until they were saved by Captain Kensei Maguruma and the 9th Division. But after defeating the unnamed Hollow, Kensai attempted to cheer Hisagi up, but with an albeit with a slightly scary smile and surgically demanding manner. And he asked the kid for his name. This was when Hisagi had saw Kensai's 69 tattoo on his chest, and he had acquired the inspiration to get the very same tattoo, but on his right cheek. That's the main thing where you can identify Hisagi by. Which, dang, best tattoo in the show, bro. I feel like Gote 13 tattoos are cool and all, but his tattoo is one of my favorites. It's really funny. Well, he's a really funny character, and the end, Ice and Arc, I'm pretty sure. All the other characters, all the other lieutenants are like, "Hey, Shuhei, why don't you use your Bankai?" And he's like, I was gonna, but I didn't have a chance. One of many reasons why he's such a loser. But soon after that, Hisagi was already a famous Shinigami. Even before becoming a seated officer, he began taking several different missions with the Gotai 13 when he was still a student of the Shinigami Academy. During his last year of studies there, Hisagi and two of his classmates, Kanazawa and Alga, were all assigned to lead a field lesson on performing the Kanso with freshman class 1, the class in which Renji Abarai, Izuru Kira, and Momo Hinamori were also members of. These are all future captain, like lieutenants for the 13 lieutenants, like soon after, but all went very well until the end of the lesson when a group of huge hollows took the class by surprise. And as both Kanizawa and Alga were tragically killed, Hisagi had furiously ordered all the freshmen to run, and he tried to fend off the hollows himself until help arrived. Which, not sure why a lot of people call him a loser, if that's his background. That's his background. But however, he was overpowered by being wounded over his right eye, and he would have been killed if Renji, Izuru, and Momo hadn't turned back to help him. Fortunately, Captain Sosuke Aizen and Lieutenant Jin Ichimaru arrived in time to save them all. Kira mentioned that Hisagi failed the entrance exam for the academy twice. However, his talent allowed him to become a seated officer in the Gotei 13 without having to pass any additional test in the end. And shortly after attaining his position as a seated officer of the 9th Division, he asked Tozen to meet him in a secluded area of the Soul Society, and upon his arrival, Hisagi asked that Tozen remove him from his position as during field practice he couldn't effectively battle as he was scared. Another reason why he's such a loser. He explained that he explained that he has done similar drills in the real world, and notes that his injured right eye was a direct result of one of those one of those drills. But he tells Tozen that ever since then he cannot settle himself every time he unsheaths his blade. Tozen tells him that his feelings of fear are the very reason that he should strive to become a seated officer, as power shouldn't matter to a soldier. But knowing his own limitations should. It is Hisagi's fear that allows him to hold his blade for those who share the same fear. Tozen further explains that a man that does not fear his own blade has no business removing it from his sheath. He tells Hisagi that if the thought of engaging an opponent on the battlefield truly terrifies him to his very core, then he is a true soldier. And within his possession, he has something that is priceless. And after that, Hisagi was inspired because of what Tozen had said to him. So that's basically Hisagi's background. But his personality is pretty much... Shuhei is an extremely mature and calm individual, a trait that is slightly at odds with his somewhat punk-like appearance. He usually takes responsibility very seriously and tends to avoid violence whenever possible. He seems to be virtuous, much like his captain's image. Their views often coincide until it is revealed that Kaname Tozen is a subordinate of Sosuke Aizen. And after Tozen betrays the Soul Society with Aizen and Ichimaru, Hisagi forms a friendship with Tozen's former friend, Captain Seijin Komamura, with both of them resolving to open Tozen's eyes to the truth. He is often seen as often seen in the company as of the 3rd Division Lieutenant Izukira. He's truthful. He's often seen he's truthful. He's a good guy in general, but has his he's a real buzzkill to most people. But so Shuhei's abilities, he's an expert swordsman. So he's reluctant to use his Zanpakuto Shikai form. Shuhei Hisagi has trained to become especially skilled at swordsmanship so that he wouldn't have to rely on it. He has shown to be very crafty with his Zanpakuto, as his skills are great enough to regularly fight opponents who released their Zanpakuto, while his remains sealed by only relying on his Zanpakuto release form as a last resort, because, well, he's not a big fan of his Zanpakuto, just so y'all know. But he's also a Kido expert, since Hisage, having been a Shinigami for a long time, seems to be seems to be well versed enough in Kido to have an understanding of at least fairly high level Kido spells without incantation, most notably binding number 62. He has been seen using them, he's seen using them in conjunction with his release on Zanpakuto to deliver more damage to his opponents. But that's not a lot of times. But he's also an Hakuda expert, since Hisage has also shown himself to be highly proficient a highly proficient fighter, even when unarmed. So, and during the Bout invasion, Hisagi demonstrated great skill by incapacitating several possessed Shinigami in battle. And in battle, he has shown himself to be tremendously agile and is able to attack from various angles with great dexterity. So, his Zanpakuto Kazeshini, also known as Wind of Breath in English, and in its sealed form, Hisagi's sword looks like a regular katana with an octangular tsuba. Hisagi has been seen carrying his Zanpakuto both at his waist and on his back. And his Shikai, Kasashini Shikai command is Reap. And when released, it takes the form of two Kazarigama-like weapons, when each with two scythe blades, with one inverted, giving it the resemblance of a pinwheel, which is pretty cool. And now his Bankai. So, not yet achieved. In the 10 years following Yowach's defeat, Hisagi claims to have mastered his Bankai, though his peers and captain claim not to have seen it, as Hisagi states that he has not had a chance to unleash it recently. Yeah, but I mentioned that at the beginning, and also has explosive bands. So Tekken 101 talked about this actually. It's really cool. So the bands on Hisagi's neck and arms possess explosive properties. By removing them, he can use them to reproduce blinding explosions that expel a large amount of smoke, which also it also hurts his enemies as well. But the most we really get to see him in, the arc we get to see him in most, is either the Soul Society arc or the Beast Swords arc. And the Beast Swords arc, one of my favorite arcs in my opinion. So after Muramasa is defeated and most of the rogue Zanpakuto spirits are returned to a normal by Captain Mayuri Kurasuchi, Shuhei's Kazashini still acts in-depthly, wishing to kill targets, especially Shuhei, while Hisagi's lieutenants Izukira, Izuru Kira, Lieutenant Lieutenant Iba, I'll just say that, and third C Ikaku Madarame, also known from Yachiru, Baldy. But we get a lot of him in that arc. We also get a lot of Kazashini in that arc. And now that I'm done talking about Shuhei here, we can just talk about Kazashini. And if you don't know much about Kazashini is basically his Shikai / Zanpakuto. So I'll talk about him right now. So Kazashini's physical manifestation takes the form of a thin, well-toned, dark man with completely light blue eyes and long black hair, which reaches down to his lower back. He wears these dark gray strips of cloth around his neck and shoulders, and his wrists, and his lower body, and wears gray boots and curled toes. This guy looks really cool. I always thought he was cool. Especially with the black and red tint to him. He's just one of my favorite Zanpakuto spirits. That's what you call them, right? Yeah. And so basically, Kazashini's personality is, while under the influence of Muramasa's brainwashing, Kazashini is confident in his own power and somewhat impulsive, wondering aloud if he should take on the entire Gotei 13 by himself. He has a habit of laughing maniacally, just like my main man Zangetsu, and he believes it is pathetic for any Zanpakuto spirit to be beaten by Shinigami, and is somewhat confrontational, getting into an argument with Getsuburi. I don't know how to pronounce his name. And over the strength of their masters, he is somewhat boastful as well, which is why Shuhei usually ignores him and loathes him. That's why he never really unsheathed his sword until as a last resort. That's why and in battle, Kazashini is merciless, slaughtering dozens of unseated Shinigami while proclaiming it is too easy. And he's not above attacking those who are too weak or preoccupied with to fight back. But laughing while attempting to attack an injured Sajin Komamura, Shuhei, Hisagi, and Tetsuame Lieutenant Iba, that the latter two of whom were helping Ruki Kuchiki, well, before chuckling and moving away. So both Kaze Shini and Shuhei, both really cool dynamic characters, especially Shuhei, because he starts off as this scared kid, weak dude, and then close to the end, sees Shikai, his scythe. One of my favorite scenes with when he's about to fight Jin. I'm pretty sure it was Jin. But the music that his theme song, I have it on my playlist. The music that was played was amazing. I loved it. But that's all you really got to know about Shuhei. So that's it for this video today. I hope you exceptionally enjoyed it today. Had a fun time explaining Shuhei and Ishikai, Mr. Kazashini. So without further ado, I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day, and as you should know, always, and I mean always, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling lonely, open up a manga and read. Bye.